Volgograd used to be called Stalingrad. It was the city in World War II. It was the turning point battle. Germany tried to get into Russia as far as it could, and they got to Volgograd, and that's where they stopped. And they left after that point. And so it became known as Stalingrad, and there's statues of Stalin everywhere, but it's probably the most famous World War II city in Russia. There's one of the biggest World War II museums, if not the biggest in Russia, in Volgograd. And so it's really cool, super historically rich. And they remember World War II like nobody on this planet. I mean, they have Victory Day every year in Russia. It's kind of like the 4th of July, but for Russia. And Victory Day in Volgograd is crazy. I mean, they've got parades, they've got all the banners, they've got tanks, they've got everything. And it's really cool. Really, really historically rich city. It's very Russian, very just a big city, big roads, public transportations, buses, and these little vans called marshrutki. And it's kind of like a van, and you open it up, and instead of there being rows of seats horizontally, there's like seats that wrap the outside of the van, and they just cram as many people in there as you can. And so there's people in all the seats, and then there's people in the middle standing, but it's a van all the same, and so they're crazy to ride around in. But those and buses are pretty much the main forms of public transportation. Otherwise you walk everywhere because it's a big city and big open streets and even underground walkways and things like that. It's right on the river, the Volga River, which is huge, just a giant river, and it freezes over in the winter in Volgograd. So there's actually people out there ice skating on it, playing hockey on it, cutting holes out of the ice and fishing in it. It's pretty cool to see all the things they do. I mean, it's a huge river. It's really wide, and I'm amazed that they can hang out that far out on the ice. I would be too scared it would break, but it's really thick, I guess. And so, yeah, it's just a really cool, really Russian city. I mean, by Russian, it's lots of cement buildings and busy, I guess. I don't know how else to put it, really. There's a lot of big strip malls there, and they're huge. I mean, they're bigger than malls in America. So those are kind of cool to walk through. They're just cool to see, and there's lots of random fun things you can get there if you're into shopping and stuff. And other than that, I don't know. There is a university there. There's a lot of Indian students, actually. I think the most Africans and Indians are in Volgograd, probably, of any part of Russia. At least that I was in. But there's just, it's a pretty diverse city, actually.